when you watch a game like tonight, where you got Boston, Columbus, and you're going to face one of them, are you watching the game? Are you scouting the game? Like, how do you approach it when you're in this moment and you're through and you're waiting to see who you're going to play?
I'm watching it as a fan, and I think obviously you can do some scouting within that, but it's been a really good series to watch. I'm sure you guys have watched a little bit, maybe a lot of it, but it's been a really good series, and obviously I want them to beat them up as much as they can. I want it to go 7, that's that. But yeah, I'll be watching.
With Justin Williams of the Carolina Hurricanes.
Willie, there was, I don't know, the cameras were following you when you guys lost in Washington, and it was documented that you left the building and you were saying to the employees of the building, we'll see you back here for Game 7. We'll see you Wednesday, blah, blah, blah. Was that something that you wanted people to hear, or you wanted your teammates to see it, or was that just something that you felt you needed to do to kind of motivate yourself?
That's a good question. I'm not quite sure, but I do remember saying it to quite a few the ushers, the locker room attendants from the other team, from the visiting team that come over. Just assuming, hey, you tell your mind something, and more often than not, you can do it. So it's just something I said.
You're in overtime against the Capitals. You really took over that game. And to me, did anything have to be said in between periods, heading into overtime, even after the first overtime, or did you guys just feel like you were motivated and you knew you guys were rolling?
Listen, that series was extremely tough. Both teams gave it everything they got, and then once you get to Game 7 and it's tied, and then it goes to overtime, I think you're in that locker room and you try and lighten the mood and say, all right, boys, who wants to be the hero? And you got to have guys who want to be the hero. You can't have guys out there who don't want to be out there or are scared to make a mistake. You go out there and have fun with it, because the next one wins, someone goes home. But I remember skating out there for the Game 7 overtime, and just before the puck drops there, and I was skating around, and I'd never made eye contact with Tom Wilson throughout the series, and we looked at each other, and for the first time in the series, we just smiled at each other and said, all right, here we go. And that's great. Just how it ends, and you beat each other up as best you can, and there's a victor at the end, and it was certainly a good overtime for us, because I thought we dictated a lot of the play.
Willie, there's been a lot of talk in this town about coaching and making adjustments. I think Roddy's been good at adjusting things, even with yourself. You've moved to the Aho line in the playoffs. You've gone with Jordan Staal. I think Roddy's done a good job of that. How important is that for you, for the coach, to kind of make adjustments to get things fitting and guys that are going together during the game?
Yeah, he made one last game right at the start of the second period. He just all of a sudden switched the line. I was playing with Jordan and Niederreiter, and it just gave a little spark, right? That's all you kind of need sometimes. He felt it was a little stagnant, and I think that's a tribute to being an ex-player. You can feel how the guys are. You can feel how the game is going, and you can be, you know what, something's not right here. I need to switch something up. And he's done a good job of matching lines, even though as a player, you hate when the coach matches lines. You're back there. You're like, oh, I can't go until this guy plays. And it's frustrating at times, but in the end why they do it, because they've got a plan, and they try and stick to that as best they can. But sometimes you just got to let it fly, and Roddy's been able to juggle the two pretty well.
With Justin Williams, you always, it's a cliche, it gets thrown out there a lot, that the players always know before anyone else in terms of how they're playing, in terms of the rhythm of the game. I guess what you're saying is that is a fact. So have you been on the bench at any point in your career, not even necessarily this playoff run, where you're kind of looking behind you wondering, like, where are you at here, coach? Like, we're either not rolling or we're rolling so much, we need more ice time. Get us going here.
No, yeah, absolutely. And Rod and my relationship is unique in the fact that, he was a coach, and he kind of told me, or he was the captain back when I was here the first time around, and he kind of told me what to do, and he still tells me what to do. So I don't have a problem going back to him and saying, hey, Roddy, how about a little bit more? Or, hey, let's get us going here. and he appreciates it. He's not always going to do it, but he appreciates the feedback and knows that the guys want to be out there. And sometimes you got to go down to whoever's going at the present time. If you got to go, you only got 8 guys that are playing hard or playing good, then you roll those 8 guys. And Roddy's been great with that when we needed it.
We were quite passionate the other day, O-Dog and I, on our show last week when Brock Nelson gave Curtis Mack a little tap after the goal on the head. I didn't like it personally because, being a former goaltender, it's just, I thought it was a bit disrespectful. So then you guys go through the line, and I don't know if you caught it or not, or even if you discussed it, but Dougie Hamilton gives Nelson a little tap on top of the head. It's a little bit of justice. Did you notice it, and did you talk about it with Dougie at all?
I did notice it. I didn't notice Nelson doing it until after the game. I did notice Dougie tapping him on the head. That was a reasonably big talking point after. I'm not exactly sure what Nelson was thinking at that particular time. Because I guess if you're going to do something like that, you better win the series and be able to have that last laugh. And obviously, Dougie had it there, and he felt like he wanted to do something. And hey, I'm all fine with that. Obviously, the handshake line is the time when the series is over. But I guess Dougie wanted to get a little last jab in there.
With Justin Williams, we'll get you out of here on this. I know we interviewed just before the end of the season, and we were talking, of course, about Storm Surge and the celebrations after wins. And he said to us, "That's it. We're done. Not happening in the playoffs." Is that still official, or is there a chance it could come back at some point?
Well, being around here and knowing a lot of weathermen are wrong sometimes, I guess storm surges are unpredictable. So I guess you never know when one's going to come.
All right.
But for the time being, I thought it was important for us to just 100% focus on what we need to do, not what we're doing after the game. So I don't know. We'll see how everything plans out, but I wouldn't count on it.
You got to do it on the road too.
The other team will come out and start duking it out with us.
Who cares? It's just it would be better on the road. Just
it would be outstanding.
Just a middle finger to the visiting crowd.
We'll support you.
Yeah, we'll back you up.
Well, good luck in the next round. Again, whether it's Boston or Columbus, the way you guys are rolling, it should be a great series. And we're tracking you up here, and we'll get you on again down the road. But we always appreciate you finding some time for us.
Love it. Anytime for you guys.